Today on In the Woodyard, we've got a firewood delivery and we're gonna make a lot of firewood. Here we go. So we've got a delivery, but it's not till the end of the day. The wood is right here. I'm gonna load it in, get that done, and then it can just sit there and wait for me. And then after I get this done, we're starting up the processor and we're gonna make a bunch of logs into firewood. So that's what's happening. We're gonna get loading and cutting today. Beautiful day today. You guys should be here. It's about 63, 64 degrees. It's only supposed to be about 65 for a high. And tonight it's supposed to get down into the 40s. So tomorrow morning is gonna be a beautiful morning. So I'm definitely gonna be here in the morning getting some work done because the cool weather is sweet in the summertime. So we're gonna load this puppy up. It is for a face cord, or a third of a cord if you prefer to say it that way, of oak. And I'm just about out of my wood from last year that's totally dry and ready to go. So then I'll have to start checking out some wood that I processed this winter and see how that's doing, if that's gonna be ready to go. So it's getting kind of low on the good stuff. So we're gonna speed things up a little bit, play some music right now. There it is, loaded. So this is oak, and there was about 3 or 4 pieces of this stuff in here. See if you know what that is. It is a type of apple tree, but it's a wild apple, and they grow little bitty apples. There's excellent firewood, real heavy, every bit as good as oak. Here's another one right over here. And the reason it's here is there was a tree right about there that I cut down when I put these piles here, and it was probably, I don't know, maybe a good 8-inch tree or so, and it was in the way and it was dead. So I cut it down and cut it up. It's real good firewood. So I'm gonna show you a live one over here, back over this way. So here it is. This is a live one of that kind of tree. You see the leaves, they look just like apple leaves because they are. But you see that thorn right there? That picky thorn? See if I can find another one here. I'll bring this branch down. Right there's another thorn. I'm gonna break one off. It's kind of almost like a turkey spur. I'll break this off. Well, I can't really break it because it's still alive, but put my hand so you can see it. There it is, very sharp, very thorny, and you definitely don't want to run into it because they're very long and stiff. So this is a thorn apple tree. They grow little bitty apples. You can see right here there's some buds right here, and there's some flowers right there, and the apples are about the size of like like a choke cherry would be, crab apple, only a little small, and they're red and they fall down. The deer love them, they eat them right up. So that's a pretty good size one. There's another one right over here. It's kind of a twisted one. There's 2 trees wrapped around each other. So there it is. It looks kind of like, the bark looks a lot like white oak. A lot like white oak. Very, very similar to white oak. And it's very good firewood, but they don't get real big. Like this is a pretty big one. And this one over here, the first one I showed you, is a pretty big one. So you can see that's maybe a 8, 9, 10-inch tree, which is about as big as they get. I've never seen one much more than about a foot across. So there you go. Little tree lesson for today. We're gonna go process some wood right now. So I mentioned this the other day that for now what I'm gonna be doing is just every time I get fuel for my truck, I just take these along and fill them, and then I just dump it in here to keep it full. It's a 60-gallon tank, and so this 10 gallons right here was 50 bucks. And the other day I ran for, I don't know, 2.5 hours, something like that, and it used 10 gallons. So the downside of having a processor, a big one, they're very thirsty. And as you know, fuel prices are ridiculous. There, it's out of my system. I'm gonna dump them in now. So before I even do the chain tightening and bar tightening, I noticed that my bar oil is about half empty here. So I went and I got a jug, and I'm going to dump some in here. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use any specific kind, but this is what I got, so this is what's going in. So here we go. It's bar oil. It's a different color, but I'm sure it'll work. Because bar oil is, well, you know, it's bar oil. So I'm putting a gallon in. I want to see how much it goes up here, because I think I've already used at least a gallon. Because I'm guessing this little tank here is at least a 4, maybe a 5-gallon tank. If I had to guess, it's probably 4. So I'm just dumping a gallon in here. Maybe I'll go get another one and fill it all the way up. Because it was about half empty, and I might as well fill it up as soon as I'm doing it. Now I understand why a lot of companies have a mechanic or a maintenance guy just to take care of equipment, because it's a constant thing. Yeah, 1 more gallon is not going to be necessary because it won't be able to fit. So far I have used a little over a gallon. So you can see it's going up now. It's got a temperature gauge right inside the measurer there, so you can see how much. So it's kind of a slick deal. So that's all it's going to get. I'm going to put it back on. We're going to work on the bar and the chain next. So once again, I was sadly mistaken. I totally forgot I need to tighten up my chain, because yesterday it was loose. So I got to check this out and see what's wrong here. I don't know if it's the sprocket is loose somehow, or if that's how it's supposed to be. But I'll have to check it out. I have to take the chain off. It's not razor sharp, but I think I might sharpen it. Yeah, it needs a little sharpening. It wouldn't hurt to sharpen it. And then I check to see if this is as tight as this gets. Because to me it seems like there's a lot of play in there. So I have to do that. And I totally forgot, my tote is pretty full. So I just wiggled it out of the way. I could just barely kind of shuffle it out of here. And I brought a second tote in, because I'm going to cut that one out and get that ready. So, like everything, there's always way more work than you think. I can't even work, I just got to do all this prep crap. Okay, so what I did was I loosened up the bolt that is the keeper for the bar going up and down. And then back here is the tightening bolt. So I cranked that up, it chain popped right in, and then I tightened up the nut here that's the keeper nut. I tightened that up. And so now, over on this side, all I got to do is tighten up the bolt that tightens up the bar on the mount. There we go. It's on. So I tightened it up, and it's not loose. The sprocket was just fine. I checked it out, and everything seems to be good. So we'll run her and see what happens. So what I got to do now, there we go. That's nice and tight. So now all I got to do is go get my grinder, my jigsaw, and I got to cut another hole in that tank so I can fill it up like that one and then bring it in place, and I can finally start cutting. Okay, now before I can even cut that other one out, I got all the sawdust that's overflow stuff underneath here. I mean, there's a lot of it, so I'm going to scoop that up, and I'm going to throw it into the container that's already almost full. So it's a lot of sawdust. Kind of getting some in, part of it anyway. Now I know why Skidder Kev says that when they're cutting all day long, they can fill, I think he said they can fill 3 or 4 of these a day. And I believe it. It's gonna be a lot of sawdust. So yes, this means that now I'm gonna have to get some pallet forks so I can move these around and get rid of them, or whatever it is I'm gonna do with it. I don't know. If anybody knows or has a market for sawdust, I'd like to know. I've got a guy checking on it right now for me. find out if I can get rid of it somehow. Whether I sell it or trade it for something, I'd be up for either one. I'd like to trade it for just getting more logs. That'd be awesome. Now we're starting to get in some chips now underneath there, so I think that's it for the good sawdust. Yeah, we're starting to get chunks of stuff that are mixing from the other side, so I think that's about it there. Good enough. All right, let's get this cleaned away so I can get the other tote in here. There. All right. So this other tote is going to be cut in the same spot right in the front here. Kind of a hole. All right. There. Pretty. That's as close as they get. I've got it so it's tight as the hole as I can get. It hits the fender right here, so it's in the hole, as my good buddy Bill used to say. It's in the hole. So, my time that I had is shrinking. I just spent an hour just dinking around fixing all this stuff and getting things ready. It's ridiculous how much time it takes just to do all the little things. That's the part nobody shows you, and that's the part that sucks. fuel is in, the deck is loaded, the tractor is waiting and ready. All I gotta do is put the key in, start her up, let her warm up, and we can start pumping out some pieces of wood. I got about 4 hours before I have to go for my delivery, so hopefully I can fill this twice. I don't know if I can do it that fast by myself, because it takes time to obviously load and run the wood. So we're gonna start her up and make some wood. Well, look at that. The birch is done. That's kind of nice to get that done. All I got is a lot of mess to clean up here now. A processor is very messy. It makes lots of slivers and chunks and pieces, and wow, way more messy than doing splits on a small splitter. That thing just crushes someone if you don't have it just right. I learned a lot today doing that birch. I don't want any small stuff. Big stuff is beautiful. Medium-sized stuff is nice. Don't want any small stuff. They fall through. I tried to do multiple ones. You probably saw that, but here it is. Look at that birch. There is 4 loads here. The last one wasn't a real big load, but there's 4 loads here. So whatever that ends up being, I'm guessing, if I had to guess, there was maybe between 4 and 5 face cords. So say 4.5 times 4, that's 16, 18 face cords. So 6 full cords. 6 full cords is probably what that is, if I had to guess. Something like that, 6 full cords, that sounds about right. So I got my birch done. So tomorrow we have a special guest coming. Mike is coming, and Tony is coming. So there you go, they're gonna be here tomorrow morning, that'll be cool. Then we're gonna run the machine, we're gonna play with saws, we're gonna do all kinds of fun stuff. So tomorrow you need to come back, 5:30 a.m. And if you can't wait, go to my channel. There's 700 videos waiting there for you right now to watch. Go now. Good night, Irene.